If you've been in shape before, you remember how good that felt. But I'm guessing that somewhere between building a career, raising kids, and keeping life from falling apart, your fitness fell off. And now you're 20, 30, maybe 40 pounds over where you want to be. You look in the mirror, and perhaps you barely recognize the guy looking back. You know how to train, you know roughly what you should be eating, but you've been able to put it together to make a sustainable change. And you may be wondering, is it too late? Have I left it too long? You're frustrated and worried, and this is completely understandable. Because most of what you'll read about getting back in shape is either designed to sell you something or it's written for a 22-year-old. You're a busy professional, probably a dad, and your time is limited. My name is Andy Morgan. I'm the head coach at Rip Body, and for the past 15 years, we've helped thousands of guys achieve dramatic transformations without the process dominating their lives. No supplements, no biohacks, just real food, serious lifting, and data-driven decision-making. I'm telling you, it's not too late. And if I were in your position, this video covers exactly what I would recommend that you do to get back in shape in 6 months. The honest 6-month picture. First of all, let me tell you what 6 months can realistically do. You should be able to lose 20 to 25 pounds of fat. This is fairly standard for clients. No crash dieting, and done in a way that lets you sustain your look once you end it. If you're new to training, you're going to gain a good amount of muscle. If you've been training consistently, then you won't gain much muscle, but you will reveal all of the muscle that you've built. And if you're coming back from time off from the gym, you're going to gain a lot of the muscle that you once had, even if it's been years since you trained. Lost muscle is much easier to regain than growing new muscle. So if you were in good shape in the past, you're in a really good position. My point here is that whatever your situation, 6 months is enough time to create a dramatic change, as long as you put your effort in the right places. What actually moves the needle? So there's an enormous amount of noise in the fitness industry: cold plunging, biohacking, endless hyped supplements, and unrealistic morning routines. No client failed to achieve their goals because they weren't doing or taking that stuff. So put your wallet away and tell your balls that they can relax. 2 things drive results: a sustained calorie deficit and consistent progressive resistance training. Now, the calorie deficit strips the fat off. The resistance training builds and maintains muscle. That's it. That's how all body transformations are achieved. And anything that works but doesn't acknowledge this is simply a marketing layer that masks those principles. So keto, carnivore, vegan, intermittent fasting. When they work, it's because they created a calorie deficit. If you focus on the underlying principles, then you won't waste time bouncing between name-branded methods, and you'll be able to tailor everything to your body, food preferences, and circumstances. All right, so let's start with the thing that trips people up most: the nutrition setup. You don't need a meal plan. In fact, we refuse to give them to clients. It boxes them in and makes them think in black and white terms. They're either on plan or they're off. You need flexibility to get this to work over the long term. Actually, you need 2 numbers and the right mindset. The 2 numbers are a daily calorie budget and a protein target, and everything else is secondary. For most men trying to lose fat while protecting the muscle that they have and rebuilding what they've lost, that means a daily calorie deficit of roughly 500 calories per day below maintenance. For most guys, your budget will be around 2,000 calories a day, more or less, depending on your body size and activity levels. And for protein, eat 1 gram per pound of your target body weight in pounds each day. So if you're 200 pounds and you want to be 160 pounds, eat 160 grams of protein. Now, obviously, these are simplified guidelines. For more nuanced calculations, you can see the macro calculator that I've linked to in the description. But my point is, you can keep it simple and still achieve your goals. In fact, you should keep it simple because simplicity allows for consistency, and consistency is key. So here's how I'd make keeping to my calorie budget and meeting my protein target as easy as possible. First, I would play Calorie Detective. I'd download a nutrition logging app like MacroFactor. I'd take a photo of everything that crosses my lips for a week, and it's remarkably good at estimating calories even in home-cooked meals. I would then look for high-calorie food or drink that I could cut out without it bothering me too much. I might find that my evening whiskey habit is costing me 400 calories, and I can unwind in other ways. The Starbucks Frappuccino that I'm in the habit of getting with my wife is 500 calories, but I'd be Frankly, equally happy to swap that for a black coffee with a splash of milk and sweeteners. And I could save a couple of 100 calories each day by switching to leaner meats. Look, you know what your preferences are, so you are the one that should make these decisions. But I hope that you can see that a few small tweaks can tip you from a calorie surplus into the deficit that you need to consistently lose 1 pound of fat per week. The next thing I'd do is audit my food environment. If snack foods can't be banished, perhaps because of kids in the house, I'd put them in opaque containers and put them in the back of cupboards, because that way I'm far less likely to think about them. I'd also make sure that the weekly shop is done so that I have the right food in the fridge when it becomes time to eat, and I'll prepare the food in advance on the days that I know that I'll be busiest. Uber Eats will be deleted from my phone. And I'll also stop hanging out with my best buddy Keith as much because, well, we always tend to drink too many beers when we do. Lastly, I'd give myself a super simple meal structure. I'd eat the same breakfast and lunch each day and just modify my family evening meal. My go-to breakfast would be a low-fat Greek yogurt with some chocolate whey powder mixed in. It's filling, low-calorie, and high in protein. My lunch would be a large chicken salad with a low-fat dressing, again, filling, low-calorie, and high in protein. And dinner would be whatever my family is having, but I would take a smaller portion and air fry myself a chicken breast on the side so that I could hit my protein numbers. Remember, we are the ones dieting, not the family, so make sure it interferes with their lives as little as possible. Now for the training setup, if you've trained before, this part is probably simpler than you're expecting. There are 3 parts: strength training, daily steps, and cardio. For the strength training, hit every muscle group at least twice a week, show up consistently, and increase the weight or reps over time. Personally, I'd like to train 4 days a week, but I know that life often gets in the way sometimes, so that's not always realistic. So for this reason, rather than having a body part split where I say have a chest Monday, back Tuesday, legs Wednesday, etc., I will alternate an upper-lower body split. This way I'm never panicking about missing an arm day. I base my program around the big movement patterns. So for the upper body, a horizontal push and a horizontal pull, a vertical push and a vertical pull. You could add in flies, curls, and tries if you wish, but frankly, these isolation moves aren't really needed because they're already covered. This is kind of the icing on the cake. Now for the lower body, I'd make sure to do a squat movement. In my case, dumbbell split squats, because barbell squats, they upset my lower back. I'd do a hip hinge movement, like some variation of a deadlift, and I'd do leg extensions and leg curls. 3 sets of each, all 5 to 15 reps, taken 1 to 2 reps shy of failure. If anything started to hurt, I'd modify or change the exercise. Key point here, do not be dogmatic about exercise selection. They are just tools to get the job done. Now I'd set myself a step count roughly 3,000 steps higher than my current average. So my current average, I noticed on my phone just now, is about 6,000 steps a day. So I'm going to increase that to 9,000. It's very attainable with a couple of short walks, and it's good for my mental health. It will help keep my activity levels up as I enter into the diet, and they tend to naturally dip. Lastly, I commit to doing some form of cardio after my workouts for my heart health. Recently, it's been 15 minutes of rowing, trying to beat that distance each time. You'll note that nothing here is extreme. The single most important thing is consistency, not intensity. Now here's the part that most people get wrong. Month 1 feels good, weight drops. The gym feels new again, you feel like you're finally going to crack this, you see some size come on. But months 2 and 3 are where most people unravel. The scale weight drops slow down, life gets busy, you miss a few sessions, you have a bad week with food, and then you start to think that the process has stopped working. This happens to everyone. Dave here is the perfect example, a busy dad who wanted to no longer feel embarrassed while getting his shirt off while on vacation with his kids. I kept reminding him to push through the plateaus, and obviously you can see that he was rewarded for it. Now progress is not linear. The graph goes sideways for a while and then it drops. But for that to happen, you need to still be in the game. The guys who get meaningful results, they're not the ones who had perfect adherence, they're the ones who didn't quit. So here's what you're actually signing up for. Let me be direct. For a 6-month transformation to work, you'll need to track your food closely enough to know whether you're hitting your targets. You'll need to train 3 to 4 times a week, every week, even when you're busy and you don't feel like it. You'll need to lose the all or nothing mindset and not let one bad day cascade into a week of bad decisions. And it requires you to accept that progress won't always be linear. you'll note that it does not require perfection. It does not require giving up all the things that make your life enjoyable. In fact, any plan that requires those things for you is one that's going to end in failure. Avoid extremes, stay consistent, and in 6 months, you can achieve the kind of results that you thought only happened for other people. And I'm excited for you, so be sure to let me know how you get on. All right, if this video helped, watch this next one. It will explain more about scale weight fluctuations. And in the description, you'll find a link to my free Transformation Kickstart bundle, free training programs, nutrition setup guidance, and our 15-day short email series guiding you through the mistakes not to make. If you have a question, ask me in the comments. I read and respond to them all, and I've been doing so every day for the last 15 years. Thank you for watching.